late one August evening, it was sunset. I was walking out back to go feed my dogs, and so I grabbed up my food and my water bucket, and out the door I went. And I walked around the back of the house to where the dog lot was. And I noticed when I got there, my dogs were acting a little peculiar. Just wasn't acting like themselves. So I went in, and talked to them and tried to calm them down just a little bit. And they were just being all antsy, and I went on about my business. I poured the food in their bowls and put water in the bowls, and I started smelling this stench. Just an awful smell. And my dogs started going crazy, barking and howling and pitching an awful fit. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with them, trying to calm them down. And they're bouncing off the walls of that lot out there. And I turned around, looked in the direction they were barking at, and there I seen it. There was something standing there. It was, I don't know, about 8 foot tall, maybe 9, around about 500 pounds. And it was hairy from head to toe, like brown hair with a little bit of white through it. Something about like salt and pepper, a little bit of gray, a little bit of brown. And it had really long arms and long legs, and it looked like it might have had a beard. And I guess, I don't know, about the same time I saw it, it saw me. And it kind of glared at me for a second, and then it took off. And it went running. And it went, I don't know, about 500 feet away from me. I grabbed up my dogs and opened the dog lot, slung it wide open, and I hightailed it in the house. And we got in the house, and I grabbed my phone and I called my mama. And I was telling her about what I seen, and she said, "Are you crazy?" I said, "No, Mama." I said, "I know what I seen." I said, "That wasn't no body. It scared me to death." And she said, "Well, you're crazy." And so I got off the phone with her, and my dogs were still shaking. And I went and I sat down for a little while and trying to compose myself and figure out what I seen. And so I sat there and, about an hour and contemplated it, and if I could ever try and go to bed.
Welcome back. As you all know, I had a witness who recently let me interview her about her encounter with what she swears up and down to be a Bigfoot while she was out feeding her dogs. And if you can see, right there is that very dog lot. Now, she's allowed me to come up here today to retrace her steps and try to debunk or maybe solve what she saw. Solve the mystery of what she saw. Okay, I'm going to kind of do a recreation here of what she, if she's not with me today. Of course, she's at work. I'd rather have her here with me so she can run me step by step through what happened again. But, unfortunately, she's at work, but she has allowed me to come up here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do a recreation. Okay, here's the door she came out of. Okay, she walked over here. Now, at this point in time, she had not seen the creature, or whoever it was, or whatever it was, whether it was a person or an animal. She went over here. Okay, there's her dogs. She was inside feeding the dogs. She went in this door. She went inside this door. Okay. She went inside the dog lot here. Okay, let me close and lock this. Okay, she locked it. Just going by what I remember her saying. Okay, well, she was bent over right here putting their water bowl down, and I think they've messed their food bowl up here somewhere. They're somewhere. Okay, she was knelt down. Okay, on her knees. She was down here, of course, putting water in the bowl, in the bucket, and fixing their food. Just going by what she told me. She stands up, and she has this view. But then she hears something rustling over here. She turns like this, and she says right there. And before she left for work, she told me that's the spot it was standing at. And I'm sorry about the sun glare, but she said the spot was right there. Okay. That's when she panicked, picked up when she left the food and water bowl, and I reckon she came back out here and got it, but she left everything sitting here, even their food, everything. Just the whole bag of food and the bucket of water. She didn't even hardly get it all put in there. Okay. Okay, she ran in the house, but I'm going to go over here where she says she saw the creature. She said this creature was standing over here, and I put as you can see, I put a stick up here, and she told me to put it up there about where the head was, and she said the head was about right there. And as y'all can see as well, I've got a tape measure down here, you know, kind of where she, okay, that's where the head was, she said. Now let me scoot back just a little bit and show y'all okay, that's the dog lot. She said the head of the creature was just a little bit above this old camper sitting here. And she said this was the very spot it was standing in. Okay, if you'll look at this really closely, I'll show y'all at the marker. Now if you'll see right there, that says 7 feet. That means this creature that she saw, or this person she saw, had to have been anywhere from between 7 and 8 feet tall. Now that's not logical for a human. That's not a human. Unless Andre the Giant's running around here, that's not a human. She said the creature was standing in a position like this. And you'll notice, see my shadow. Well, stand up straight, but I'm not that tall. I'm only 5'4". And look at me compared to the height of this creature. I have to do this to look at it. But she says the creature, when she was bent over where the dog's drinking out of the water bowl now, that's where she was at when she saw it. So that's how far away she was from the creature. She then says as soon as she got out of the door and started walking back to her house, this creature ran through here, and lo and behold, we've got a big old tree branch down here. Now, this is a pretty good sized tree branch. Something very large, and upright at least, standing on 2 feet, or a person, had to get this down, because if you'll notice, well, it snapped from, okay, I can't tell what positions it snapped from, but it has been snapped. But there has not been no windstorms, because I live in this same area. Not in this particular spot, but the same area. And we have not had no windstorms, no nothing. And that shouldn't have been down. And she said that was not down until the day after she saw this creature. So whatever this creature was, or whoever this was, had to have been the one that was responsible for this branch being down in this big tree limb. Now, commonly, 7-footers are usually females. Okay, this had to have, she said she didn't look too close enough to see if it had breasts or looked like a female. She said she just saw a hairy, upright figure standing in this not technically in this spot, but she said it was kind of turned right here, and it was peeking around this camper at her. Oh, well, not peeking, because the thing's head was, she said, was over this, so it was, you know, looking over top of it practically, if you want to put it. So, and you know, it's real thick back here, as you can see, and there's woods, and there's a field right there. Good escape route for a Sasquatch to be running through to try to get away from somebody. And she said the way this thing moved, because she, on her way out, she said when she was running to the house, she said she ran, looked back for a few seconds. She said that creature just straight back through here, like just tearing the bushes and trees to shreds. She said it was just going. And for the creature to get out of here, it would have had to jump. And there, you can see these trees right here next to this barbed wire fence. The creature would have had to jumped over this barbed wire fence to actually get, away from her. Okay, she says then she come out here. She got out, well, as soon as she was running, she went back in the house, and from her words, called her mother. She said the dogs were just raising Cain, And I would be telling, now from this distance, I'll zoom in from where I was just at. Now, if you'll notice, look, if you can see very closely, if it's too blurry, if I can just get over between its cracks so y'all can see the board, kinda, from where this creature or person was standing. Now, like I said, 7-footers are usually in the female Sasquatch range. Males tend to be 8 to 9 feet, possibly even 10. But she said these dogs, they're calm dogs, they're laying down. These dogs were just going crazy. But, that's her story, and I believe her. I believe that she saw a Bigfoot that day. I really do. I think she did, and that's just my final answer. That's for y'all to judge. Y'all can have y'all's judges and your beliefs, but I believe that's what she saw, and that's why I even took the time to come up here. Was because I think she actually saw a Sasquatch that day, or that night. But, yeah, thanks for watching this documentation, or little run through of recreation of what happened to that young lady that night.